practically on the border here now. This farm where we're standing on belonged to my grandfather, and it's about 1/3 in Northern Ireland, 2/3 in the Free State, where that was before ever there was a border established. The imposition of the border in 1922 hit some sections of the population really, really hard. But there's one particular section that hit really, really badly, and that was the Donegal unionist population.
It begins to some extent with Home Rule. In 1914, we have Ireland as a country facing crisis, I suppose, with the emergence of a strong demand for Irish self-government, normally called Home Rule in that period, and then the opposition of Ulster Protestants essentially to Home Rule as a concept and their demand for the maintenance of the active union.
All of Donegal Unionists signed the Covenant, and they represented almost a quarter of the population of the entire county. Now, they did not want Home Rule because they knew that when a border would be imposed and if Home Rule arrived and Donegal was excluded, that their livelihood would be taken from them. And events proved them right.
The Unionist campaign then from 1912 up to 14 was to force the British government into conceding the exclusion of Ulster, or by 1914 a part of Ulster from Home Rule. The Nationalists wouldn't accept that, and so with a stalemate situation, and then the First World War happens.
There's no doubt that what happened in France had its impact on the development of politics and of the new state of Northern Ireland.
The treaty was signed on the 6th of December 1921, and one of the clauses in it said that a boundary commission would be established. This was a suggestion that came from Lloyd George, and Lloyd George made the suggestion in order to get Arthur Griffith on board and to get him to sign the treaty, because it was believed at that time that a boundary commission would grant a lot of territory to the Republic rather than to the new state of Northern Ireland. In fact, they reckoned they might get only 4 counties operational in Northern Ireland, and the others then would be part of the Republic. So everything was put on the long finger and the treaty was signed. Now, the Boundary Commission did not really come into action until about 1924, and there were 3 members on it. Mr. Justice Feetham from South Africa was the chairman, and Owen McNeill was another member. And their job was to take evidence from various bodies, various groups of people who appeared before them to try and explain what impact the Boundary Commission would have on their lives, and then on the basis of what they heard, they would draw up the new boundary.
Will you bring some more milk to the table?
Mrs. Hughes.
Tom, you're out late on the road this evening.
I was in the area and I thought I'd call. John, Emily.
You'll have some food.
No, thank you. Did you not hear the news?
No.
The Boundary Commission has collapsed.
That's terrible.
What happened?
McNeill resigned. It's all a shambles.
And where does that leave things?
To us, we're in the south. You are in the new north.
And how's that going to work?
They say they'll block the main road and maybe even set up a checkpoint.
Police on our roads?
What does the word coming to?
This might be the last time I can come over with these.
Do you think it'll come to that, Tom?
Who knows?
The word's gone crazy.
There's one particular group that I know of, and I've seen a photograph of Donegal farmers lining up at the border at Gallia, and they belong to the Donegal Loyalist Milk Vendors Association, and the photograph shows them queuing up with their horses and carts and milk cans, waiting to get customs clearance in the morning when the customs post opened, and they had to pay duties to get across. And then when they got into the city, they had to pay another tax because Dairy Corporation put a tax of 6 pence in the gallon on their milk. So examples like that reveal to you that farming and lagging farmers, and particularly the unionist population, were very, very badly hit by the imposition of the border.
The unionist people in Monaghan, Cavan and Donegal felt very let down by the Boundaries Commission, that they were left in the Free State when it was established. What the people in Belfast were afraid of was that if we include these 3 counties and all of Ulster in this new state up here, that it would become having a majority were too risky. They knew they could have the majority with the 6 counties.
I think you have to look at it in various phases. Initially there was severe hardship. There was a disruption of social life, a huge disruption to trade. But in recent times, with our entry into the EEC and the removal of the border checkpoints, the free movement of people and the movement of goods across the border has benefited Donegal greatly.